little bit closer. Okay. Did I connect? Did we lose our connection?
Okay, now rest now.
Maybe I have to Okay, testing. Okay, thank you. Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Board of Directors. Director Emerson,
Here.
Director Odell, not present. Director Stone,
Present.
Director Lockett,
Here.
Director Adams, Director Robinson,
Present.
Director Leggett,
Here.
Director Taylor, not present, and Chairman Cody.
Here.
Chairman, you have a quorum for today's meeting.
Now we'd like the approval of today's agenda. I so move. Second.
Thank you. Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Director Emerson,
Yes.
Director Odell, not present for the vote. Director Stone,
Yes.
Director Lockett,
Yes.
Director Adams,
Yes.
Director Robinson,
Yes.
Director Leggett,
Yes.
Director Taylor, not present for the vote. And Chairman Cody.
Yes.
Chairman, motion passed for the approval of today's agenda.
Thank you. Before we go on, we'll be going into our presentations, and we would like to send condolences to the family of Mr. Vincent Keith. Kit. Mr. Vincent C. Kit. Thank you, sir. Mr. Kit began employment as a bus operator with the Savannah Transit Authority, now the Chatham Area Transit Authority, on April 6, 1964, as one of the first Black operators for the agency. He served the passengers and citizens along the 10 East, Savannah, and the 12 Henry routes during his 38 years of service. Mr. Keith made many friends in the midst of his performance of his duties and travels throughout the Chatham County as a professional bus operator, and will fondly be remembered for his kindness and sense of humor. Mr. Keith, who will lovingly be remembered as a bus operator and entrepreneur, who was always about business, was removed from our midst on Monday, September 11, 2023. Whereas we deeply bemoan the loss of our co-worker, friend, and associate, yet bow submissively to the will of our Creator. Whereas we embrace the family because we all have a common bond that will connect us for the rest of our lives. We will forever be inspired by the happiness, smiles, and wisdom he shared with us. Therefore, be it resolved that the Chatham Area Transit Authority in Savannah, Chatham County, Georgia, does hereby express sincere and heartfelt condolences to our beloved Vincent C. Kitt's wife, family, and friends, who would like you to remember. Death leaves a heartache that no one can heal. But love leaves a memory that no one can steal. Humbly submitted on this 19th day of September 2023 by the employees of the Chatham Area Transit Authority and our CEO, Ms. Fabian Massimo. I'd like to take a moment of silence, please. I want to thank you all for sharing it with us. You will be missed, and we want to have a word. Mr. Bobby Lockett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, Mr. Kidd and I, we were personal friends. Not only that, but I remember the day when he was hired here at Cass. He was probably one of the most proudest person in the world. And everybody just thought well of Mr. Kidd. And he was a hard worker and a very true person. God bless Mr. Kidd, my friend.
Thanks. We're going to move on to our consent items for the day.
Yes, the consent items were all presented in detail, earlier in committee meetings, and include items 1 through 7 as listed, of course, the regular board meeting minutes from our last meeting, the IT equipment purchase, the Zero Fare pilot program for K-12 colleges and universities, Smart Grants program travel policy for reimbursement, pilot governance meeting schedule, the FY 2024 GDOT Transit TTO grant application submission, and the 2023 COA TDP plan. As you recall, that TDP plan has been underway for some time. Mr. Jim Ritchie from WRA is here today with us as well, and he presented to you in great detail in a work session last month. Those are our 7 items for consent.
If I may, I just want to comment on the ITT upgrade. Congratulations. And I'm sure staff will have a good time using the technology.
Thank you, Dr.
And Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion then to approve the consent agenda.
I'd
Second.
like to pull item, or I got a question on item 3.
Chairman, we can pull item 3 and move that under individual action. And if Director Stone is okay with making the motion to approve consent items 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
I concur, and I will amend my motion to that effect.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, and I'll do a roll call vote, Chairman. Okay. Director Emerson,
Yes.
Director Odell,
Yes.
Director Stone,
Yes.
Director Lockett,
Yes.
Director Adams, Director Robinson,
Yes.
Director Leggett,
Yes.
Director Taylor, not present for the vote, and Chairman Cody.
Yes.
Chairman, motion passed.
Thank you. Now we'll go into our individual action. Number 3, we got a question.
My question, and I'm sorry I didn't ask this after the committee meeting, but how will, so anybody watching, this is a Zero Fare program that's going to start early next year for K-12 and college and university students. And the question that I did not ask during our committee meeting is how will these riders identify themselves?
Use of their student IDs.
So any student ID.
Any student ID presented, and we are working with a system where operators will be able to report that so we can who's actually would there be any way to, I totally cool now, but would there be any way to identify this person as a K-12 student, this person as a SCAD versus SSU versus GSU student? That's what we're working on. Okay, cool, very cool. I think this is going to be a very cool program. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Director Adams. Do we have any more questions? Next, we will go into our executive director's report.
Yeah.
All right, let's have
I move to approve item 3, Zero Fare pilot program for K-12 college and university students.
All right. Moved by Director Emerson and seconded by Director Adams to approve the Zero Fare pilot program K through 12 colleges and university. I'll do a roll call vote. Director Emerson,
Yes.
Director Odell,
Yes.
Director Stone,
Yes.
Director Lockett,
Yes.
Director Adams, Director Robinson,
Yes.
Director Leggett,
Yes.
Director Taylor, not present for the vote, and Chairman Cody?
Yes.
Chairman, motion passed.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you to all board and to the public that has joined us today. We regularly correspond with our board members on what's called the snapshot report. So from the, I guess, everything that's been going on for the last couple of weeks, in a report to our board members, but I would call out three things. One is our training. Ongoing for weeks. It's been a incredibly intensive effort on the part of our staff, and I want to give special kudos to Ms. Dumas. She has done an extraordinary job of managing that, along with the support of Dr. Manning and CFO Cutter. So we are I think progressing through that triennial review well. As we've shared with the this is a every 3-year review that is intended to be intensive, and it's intended to help us better and to recognize those things that we do very well already, but it's also to help us improve. And we have acknowledged that to the FTA reviewers that we're working with. It's been a very collaborative process, so I think that the board is going to find that report to be very informative and helpful. The other thing I would mention is last week we attended USDOT hosted grantees for that first round of SMART grants in Washington. It was quite an intensive couple of 2 days, and I think we are well positioned for phase 2. We have mentioned that before. We had the opportunity to be in a cohort of transit projects as well as in a larger group of just projects that were focused around the technology and innovation space. And we were being frequently recognized in a very public way over the course of those 2 days in that meeting, but all of our colleagues from around the country. So it was CATS continue. I think we've all agreed that microtransit and the first mile, last mile, that many of you have advocated for as board members, is going to be a real game changer for us. And we are excited about the opportunity that SMART grant affords us. The range of funding in phase 2, which will be released earlier, maybe first quarter-ish of 2024. There's not a specific date yet, but the range is anywhere from $4 to $15 million. Where we are that with the kind of deployment that we're considering. And then lastly, Chairman Cody and I will be attending the Whitworth City Council meeting on Thursday night. We have been working with them for some number of months on proposal for service expansion, similar to what we did in Garden City with Fort Whitworth. That will be on their council's agenda on Thursday night, and we will be there for that. And then assuming that there are no other changes to it and it goes through, we'll be bringing it back to you next month for capital consideration. So thank you all very much. And with that, I will turn it over to Dr. Manning for the service delivery program.
John Taylor.
Join the meeting.
Good morning, Chairman Cody, and good morning to the public watching us and to my colleagues and the ATU officers that join us today. Our job here is to inform the board about our daily activities and how we put things together to make the system better. So I will just briefly go over this real quick. The committee meeting last time, I emphasized on time performance, and the month of August was just about 1% higher than July. And as we have the CDL program ongoing, my belief and my hope is that as we grow manpower,
Join the meeting.
as we grow manpower, our target of 70% is going to be attained. Currently, we have 5 people in the CDA program that will graduate the 21st of August, and then we will have about 10 or 15 for the October 23rd program. So with this setup, I think we'll be able to obtain the manpower that we need to extend our service and be reliable. Now on ridership, if you can see from the slide, we went up more than our average target of 163,547. The month of August was 166,050. So this is a sign that we're growing, and we also providing more service to our ridership. With manpower, like I said, ongoing CDA training, once we full staff, this number is going to be going up higher. Anytime you see that number higher than the average, that means that we have more buses on the road, and we have services everywhere as we expand. So I'm very hopeful that the ridership average is going to go up higher as we grow in manpower. On-time performance is a key. This is from the paratransit side. This number is more than the target. The target is 93%. We're doing 95, and I can assure you that next month report is going to be more higher because paratransit is now about almost 96% full staff. We had 12 students that came on board. We lost 2, we got 10. And so paratransit, just Monday and today, we don't have anything unscheduled. All scheduled trips were covered, and that's a good sign. In addition to that, we have vehicles that are coming. We have 10 gasoline vehicles that we're gonna add to our fleet and retire almost about 20 that we have. So we have been able to replace 20 of our old paratransit vehicles with new ones. And we are about almost close to full staff. We currently have only 3 short to our 42 drivers that is assigned for paratransit. So next month, I'll be very confident to tell you about transit more in terms of ridership. So that's a good sign. These are all signs that we are progressing and moving forward. If you can have full staff and have brand new, so the service, complaints that we had from paratransit side is we have every resources to make it better. Next slide, please. And from the ridership side on the paratransit, we exceeded 500. That is our target. The month of August, we had 4,664. These are all good signs. And like I said, next month report is even going to get better because from Monday and today, every scheduled trip has been covered because we have the required staff, we have the equipment to make that happen. So I can't wait for next month, September, next month to give you the September report, which I think is going to exceed more than what is the average. Lisa.
Yeah, it was really fantastic last one slide. Shows a lot of work happened there. Especially the first one, sort of since January, in terms of fixed route ridership, very steady.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And that's the goal. Our goal is to make sure that our service is reliable, it's on time, and if this is achieved, ridership is always going to be higher. If people can rely on the system, be there on time, then they will leave their vehicles at home and run our system. And that's the goal of any public transit system. And that's what we're trying to do, everything to achieve that. So now, the online reservation, if you can all recall, and if you can see from the table, it started with 0, then we went up to 6. And with the campaign that I've been saying, anytime we do this presentation, the public to use online reservation. And if volume to the cost that is going to reduce. So this campaign went very well, and you can see from a 0 to 6 to 171 in August. That's a very high number. Yeah. So if people can, if the public watching this today, please, again, I'll be saying this, please use our online service reservation instead of calling in for all the reservation. This is for the paratransit side. Log in online, you can do reservation, and we'll be happy to pick you up. If this campaign goes on well, as you can see from, like I said, from a 0.6 and to 171 is a high number. And so I encourage the public to please go online and do your reservation, and that is much helpful. And the call volume to the call center will reduce if technology is being utilized.
The highest months of June, July, and August are all over 100, but the graph only goes up to 40. Those three tall points are actually 4 times taller than
Yeah, and if you can see from like February of this year, March, April, they went down, and then May and June. And if this graph, if it was extended to up to date, it would be more higher than what is showing now. Yeah. So I think September we're gonna showcase the month of August and September, and that will be very high. All right, next slide. On to the marine service. I've always been saying that the marine ridership is always high. And for the first time, I saw a lower number. So I was very curious. So I talked to the head of that department, and I did a historical data for 3 years to see why. And my understanding was that in the month of August, it's always slow. Tourism is down. And last hurricane scared a lot of people to come to Savannah. So that's why this number for the first time is very low compared to the month of July.
The hurricane play effect on that?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, the whole scare that this storm coming over and the severity.
Thank you.
And also historically, in August, the numbers that's on the maintenance side, the distance between vehicle failures, I've said this over and over, and I remember one of the pages, Dr. Robertson asked me, what does that mean? And I was,
Who's talking? We can't hear.
yeah, my mic went off for a second. I'm sorry. I said, I explained this. Dr. Robinson was kind enough to ask me what was that distance between failures. And I explained that if our vehicles can run longer, that means our system is reliable. Yeah. So if you look at the numbers from August, our target set by the board is 1,200, and we exceeded that number by 16,529. That means we run more than what the target is. And a simple explanation is that our mechanics are doing a good job despite our fleet is over useful life and over age. They are constantly on what we have. We just have 3 diesel vehicles added to the electric ones that we have. And even the old ones are still running pretty well. It doesn't mean that we're gonna leave them as it is. We have a plan with the help of the CFO to start working on those 1,800 fleet that we have. We plan to refurbish them, new engine, new transmission, and bring it more useful life. When we do that, we can run these vehicles up to 7 years. Currently, if you want to order these vehicles, it takes about 3 years. But if you refurbish them, we're talking about months. So that's my idea, and that's where we're gonna go. So on the fixed route side, very soon you're gonna see all these vehicles with brand new paint, brand new seat, brand new engine, transmission, refurbished just like a new one. So that's in the plan. And even with the old ones, like I said, we exceeded our target, and even the national average is 1,400, and we went 1,600. So that's pretty good on the maintenance side. And I'll say kudos to my team. That's like,
When you refurbish the vehicles, the insurance coverage goes back on them again? Or do we save any money on insurance, or do we pay more for the refurbished ones?
I think so, because it's now like having a brand new vehicle, but I'll double check and get back to you on that, just to make sure. That would be my idea, that since it's new, it's just like buying a new one. But I'll check with the insurance company, and Dr. Robinson, I'll get back to you on that.
Sure,
Thank you.
appreciation.
Yeah, it's appreciation. So, yeah. So, but I want to make sure from them. The call center, and for those of you watching, and for the board set up a 60 seconds. That means 1 minute. That means if you call the call center, you shouldn't be on hold more than a minute. And if you look at these numbers, last month, August, was 86 seconds. That's more than a minute. And again, this is all calls coming in from my bus that didn't show up. I can see my bus, paratransit reservations. So the car tracker, Ms. Faye and I have been very, very particular about that if drivers leave the garage and they don't log in, once the driver doesn't log in, the car tracker will not track that bus. See, people are more okay if they can see the bus coming and the bus is late. Now, if they stand at the bus stop and the bus doesn't show up, the next thing they're going to do is call the call center. Whereas bus on this ride didn't show up. So if we can have the car tracker working right as it's supposed to, anybody with the app, and if the drivers are supposed to log in and they log in, then you can track the bus. Once you know the bus is late, but it's coming, you don't call the call center. So these are all the stuff that we are working on to minimize the wait time on the call center. Every transit system, if you call, it shouldn't be more than a minute. And I also have a plan that is coming up, and I've addressed this with the board several times. We're going to have a bus communication center, whereby if the bus leaves here and they're not logged in, there'll be a supervisor monitoring all our fleet out on the field, and they can call the driver to log in. They will force them to log in. If they don't log in, the car tracker doesn't make any sense. They can't even track the bus. So these are all the stuff that Ms. Faye has been very, very seriously about it. We have a supervisor every morning right here starting last Monday to make sure that all the drivers are logged in. So once they're logged in, the supervisor will check with a tablet to make sure that that bus is communicating with our system. And if that's done, the public can now see the bus. So I am very optimistic that next report, this number should go down. This is a lot of stuff going on while the call center call wait is too long. And the longer people wait on the phone to just find out where's my bus, it's not good for our system and for the public. So this is gonna be taken care of. I hope the September report will be better, and I'll be happy to report that to you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the call center metrics, does it allow you to set up an electronic portfolio for each member that calls in, that sets up an appointment, so that you can put all of the points of contact into that portfolio and do a timeline of what the issues are with that individual?
So I would say no, but manually the call center members are writing everything down. So let's see if that's the call for, and this is something that I think has to change. If they call for a bus that didn't show up, Now, the call center have to call the command center and find out did the bus even leave. So I would say my department, IT, are working on a system whereby there will be a dashboard where the call center staff will be able to see what is really going on. Instead of,
So is your phone system VoIP?
yeah, it is.
And the service provider, do they provide a power dashboard?
They have a power dashboard and also a recording system.
So are you going to build like a BI dashboard to do the additional metrics that you want?
Yes, so on my dashboard is going to indicate all the routes that we have, and if they were to delay or anything on, like if you go to the lobby now, on the TV screen, you're going to see all our routes. It tells you every route, if it's on time or delayed for 20 minutes, 10 minutes, they need that at the call center.
Yeah.
So,
And I would encourage you to consider having electronic files for especially your repeat customers, because if you don't have a way to assimilate all of those points of contact so that you can have a digital file, a document file where the person can come in and say, you said such and such a thing, and y'all gotta go try to find where the notes were that you wrote down. I think if you are able to consolidate those points of contact, it'd be a lot easier for you.
well, we have a system that every call that comes to the call center is being recorded. So,
Right.
but electronic filing, that would be a good
But you
idea.
don't have the ability to pluck that call and place it in a folder.
Well, since it's being recorded, every call that comes in, the data is there, like whatever time the call came in,
Right.
and from what location and for what reason. Yeah.
But then you gotta go. and-
Yeah, we got to go. Yes, yes.
So at some point, it needs to be upgraded to where you can pluck that particular call, even if it's not the original, it's
Yes.
a copy of the call. So that you can pull that copy of that call and place it someplace that you need to have it saved. Because if you gotta go through every call all the time to find that specific call, you gotta remember the time the person called, the day the person called. I mean, it's just
It's just tedious. It's a lot of
very
work.
tedious.
Yes, yes.
One way that we can do that, is we have a project ongoing right now to fully upgrade our file keeping and documentation system because it's in need of both modernization and just an assessment of completeness. The S drive has a lot, for example, has a lot of information on it, but the organization of it all is probably not optimized. And especially with us trying to move in the performance management direction. So I think that
It's a little difficult for us to hear.
I think you're bringing up a really good point, and I think that that's something that we can work with operations on to do exactly what you're talking about, to aggregate those calls, especially for the more frequent users
Yeah.
that we have a lot of interactions with. So very
Yeah, it's really a version of a CRM that you'd be needing, because it would assign a file for the consumer and would allow you to create a portfolio. If you have in VoIP, you can direct your voicemails, you can pull your voicemail, you can pull the call, you can pull, even email or messages that you get off of social media. Those can be pulled and placed in a portfolio, especially for your frequent users.
Yes.
Because those people are the ones that's not gonna let you get by with anything, because
Yeah.
they know what they're doing, they use it all the time. And you really should have a way to be able to competently debate them on a subject.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point.
we'll work on
Yeah.
putting that in the scope, but work with you guys on starting that now.
Thank you. I guess next slide, please. All right, so that's the incoming calls. Now back to what you just said, we have a record of how many calls come in. What the issue is just that electronically, if it's filed, it'll make that data very easy to track. And I agree, this is something that we have to upgrade our system. And if you can see, the board, I've set the average up to 14,000. As you see, The less calls that come in the call center, that means our system is reliable. I just want to make this clear that it's set up to 14,771. Anything more than that, that means people are complaining with issues about bus not showing up, paratransit service. What I intend to do to minimize this number is to have the paratransit reservation sent back to the paratransit department. So the schedulers will be the same people doing the reservation. This is one part of my department restructuring.
Can they also request an appointment by email?
They can do it online, but not by email. So online is you go to our website, and on the paratransit side, you reserve a pickup for the next day, which they call it manifest. So it's two things: either you call in or you go online and do reservation. But the email part will be also another good thing that we can add on. I'm just having every idea out there
Right.
to minimize the number of calls that come to the call center.
So what is the process, the complaint process for Paratrans? Do you have a policy that you have that you follow, or is it just first come, the first person that's screaming is the first one we deal with?
No, so the paratransit side is that if you call and make a reservation, we call something after 4 p.m., you're gonna get a call to confirm that your reservation is scheduled. If you don't get a call, that means your reservation is not scheduled. I want to change that. I sincerely want to change that. Either you have reservation or not, the customer has to be notified. So what they call the robocall will come in, and once you get a robocall, that means your reservation that you did either online or by phone, because you can only call and make reservation. Doesn't mean that's what they call schedule, right? It doesn't mean that you're going to be picked up. So they will then, after all this is done before 4 p.m., the robocalls goes in telling everybody that did reservation, you have a ride tomorrow or you don't. This time we only inform, once you get a call, it just signifies that you have reservation. I want to change that to make sure that all people that call in should be also notified, because this is part of the problem. So when they don't get the robocall, guess what they do? They call back to the call center. Hey, what's wrong with my reservation?
So when they call the call center and everybody's on the phone, does it go to voicemail?
It does go to voicemail.
When it goes to voicemail, does the voicemail translate into an email and send it to the available box?
No, that would be a good thing. They don't. So it goes to voicemail and says that we're busy and this call back. And so now you got to start calling again till you get through. It's not good.
Yeah, because if it goes to voicemail and the voicemail generates an email and sends it to a box where there's somebody that picks those voicemails up and returns those voicemails, what's your voicemail turnaround time? How long does it take you to return a voicemail?
Well, the voicemail technically should be a minute, because it's the same thing, like 1 minute on hold. Once you leave a voicemail, within a minute, they're supposed to call you back, right? Because you missed the call. And trust me, it's more than 1 minute. So in some cases, even 5 to 10 minutes before they get back to you. So we have to upgrade this. I 100%
They get
agree.
back to people within 5 minutes?
So-
That's really quick,
Yeah, well, that is if it depends on how many voicemails that are recorded.
especially if the
turnaround.
if it's really busy.
Yeah.
And because you got what, 6 people down there?
It's 6-5,
5 to 6.
6, yeah.
So they're taking in what, about 300 calls apiece?
Yeah, and if you look at this, they have 1,500, 15,000 just for 1 month, 15,580 calls within
And
a
what's
month.
the average time that they're on the phone?
The average time should have been 1 minute. The 60 seconds is what it's supposed to. In other words, you can hold on more than a minute because then there's a call coming in. But you know what? It's more than a minute because information is not shared.
Yeah, but if they are taking the call and typing, you got to include that administrative time with taking a phone call. So they're probably on the line closer to 2.5, 2.4.
Oh, it's more than that. Some cases it's even 5 to 6 minutes. And sometimes they put you on hold to verify what information you need.
Right,
That's also time consuming.
right.
So,
So do they rotate who's responsible for voicemail? So like, is everybody checking voicemail, or do you have one person checking voicemail?
No, it's all calls. They're all on a call. Everybody's just on a call. So
Right, so does the voicemail go to one box, or it goes to whatever extension it calls?
yes, whatever extension. So let's say if the call were to come to me, extension 1, for example, I would know how many voicemails calls that I have waiting for me.
Right,
Then I have to go there by that sequence and return a call. But I think, personally, I think that could be upgraded to make it better in such a way that every call that comes in to an extension should also have a dashboard. On that dashboard that I think it should be done, it should tell you how many calls that you miss.
yeah, your missed calls should be designated to an area, and someone should.
Someone should be there monitoring that, only the missed
That
calls
box. Yeah,
and
all
calling
those
back.
missed
Yeah,
calls should
yeah,
go to one
yeah,
place.
yeah.
Because if you send the missed calls to the extension that it called, then you're gonna delay her. When the next call comes in, she checking voicemail, so she can't answer the call, which sends
That's-
another call to voicemail.
That's a very good idea. Have somebody monitor only missed calls.
Only missed
Yeah.
calls, and if you have 5 people, then they should be able to rotate one person a day. Who's the person that's gonna be responsible for returning missed calls?
Thank you, Director. That's a brilliant idea. I'm gonna work on this and I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah,
Because
because I don't know if you monitor productivity, but to optimize productivity, you have to pull out the thing that's going to make the process cumbersome.
Yes, and the same thing like what I've entailed for the fixed route side. Currently, you have supervisors and dispatchers that are all in one room, right? So
Right.
if a vehicle leaves now and there's a problem and you call the command center, that dispatch is on hold trying to fill a run. So it won't answer your call. Now I'm changing all that. It's going to be somebody monitoring every call from the drivers while they're out on
Yeah.
the field.
Yeah.
That's efficiency. So now,
It is.
now the supervisor can get to the driver quickly because that's all they're doing.
Yeah,
They're taking calls, they're monitoring the system. All the bus drivers will have one call instead of going through a dispatcher. And if the dispatcher is on hold or trying to fill a run, likelihood that he's going to just end the call and take your call.
yeah,
So
It's-
all that is going to get better. That's my department restructure, and you're going to see that.
yeah, because it's important for us to make their job not
No,
hard.
yes,
And to not make them encumbered with so much process, and an effective process at that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, and with that, even we were supposed to go to MARTA last week with my team. And when I used to be at MARTA as a bus driver, that's the system talking about 20 years ago. That's how it was set up. Set up in such a way that the drivers will have their own communication center.
Yeah, they should.
And they will have somebody monitoring that system with anything they need.
Yeah,
It makes
because
it easier.
Because if a driver's in trouble, he shouldn't have to.
Yes, no, they don't.
And he shouldn't be on hold, because a whole bunch of things happen in a minute
Yes,
and a half.
yes. And what I'm talking about is that the supervisor monitoring that system can zoom in on the bus live
Yes.
and see everything that's going on. So that's coming. That's part of our department restructuring. And you're going to see that soon.
Okay, and so you're able to set up digital files for each bus so you can monitor
Yes,
the activity.
activity that
and
is
the
going,
problem,
yeah,
so that you can timeline the problems to try to figure out if there's a source or if there's something to mitigate.
yes. And for example, let's say a driver had a problem on the bus and they have a little earpiece that any customer on the bus will not even hear what they're talking about. They can communicate direct with the command center, what I call bus communication center.
Okay,
So this way you can tell the driver, hey, help is on the way. I got the police coming to you in a minute, or I have a bus behind you. Get everybody off that bus to the next bus. It's
okay.
very unique communication system.
So that's
Yeah.
gonna be implemented soon.
Yes, yeah, I've laid all that out, and Ms. Fay and the executive have looked at it.
So is that
So-
coming in 2024,
I'm pushing that before 2024, but we'll keep you updated.
so like fourth quarter?
Yeah. And we have our technology side also with the monitoring system and IT. We have invite to MARTA, which they have that system, very unique system. I'm going to take my staff there to also see how it's laid up and the infrastructure part of it.
Okay,
So, it's getting better. I have all these ideas, to kind of, make the system better and reliable.
well,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yes.
Technology should be.
It should be,
able to
yeah,
help us with a lot of
yeah.
this.
We call it ITS, which is every industry in our industry, everybody's using it, you know. With technology, you can have very, very precise data
Yeah,
to make a profound decision. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
all right, thank you.
Last slide. Okay. I'm very happy to say this, and I also want to thank the CFO, Ms. Carter, for finding the grant for this project. This project is key to me, as my mom passed when she was 93 years old. So I think when people get to that age, they should be confined in their own bedrooms or living room. They can't go anywhere. So the Card Connect is more like what you guys have before. Before I got here, it was called Senior Citizen Circular. Yeah. So this time is different because this time I was very involved. I went to every part of the building where we're going to provide service, talk to them and find out where do they want to go. So we're providing service to the senior citizens, and we did a survey to see where they want to go. And 80% want to go to Walmart, Target. So we designed a program that's going to be free. We'll be in your building and we'll pick you up and drop you off. On every hour, we'll be there and then drop you off at the designated place that they want to go. I'm hoping to start this service before Thanksgiving. And if we can do this, that would give them also somewhere to go for shopping and also enjoy the holidays. The vehicles have been ordered with Mr. Jimmy Ritchie and his staff and our own umbrella, our planning department also helped out. We have all the plan, the direction to get to one point. Everything is done except the vehicles that we're waiting on. So with everything said, and this program might be kickstart before Thanksgiving.
And it's Cat Connect.
Yes, it's
Are you gonna
Card
put
Connect.
something in the title that lets us know it's seniors?
That's a good idea. Well, initially we're gonna call it Card Connect, but all the buildings that we went, that we're gonna provide service, they're all aware of it, the name. And me and Ms. Phil were in the city hall, and I didn't even know, I think it's District 5. And the lady said, thank you. You guys didn't tell me, but my resident told me about that beautiful service. Yeah. So we can implement that. We talked about it and see if you can add the senior part to it. But currently it's called Card Connect.
Branded for
Yeah.
seniors.
Okay.
Because Cat Connect, it doesn't sound like it's just for seniors.
Yeah.
And then we'd have to argue with people who wanted to get on it
Yeah.
that were not seniors. So if you identify it as a senior service,
Okay. Maybe. Yeah. We'll find a way to see what we can.
senior cats,
Senior Card. Yeah.
senior cats
Okay.
connect.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Senior Card Connect. Yeah. Okay. Senior Card Connects. I think that's good. Yep. I'll keep you posted on that.
All right,
All
then
right.
get a gray haired cat.
Yeah. But again, thank you, Ms. Carter, for finding the money to do this project. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. We have a new, as you all know, every year, quarter of the year, we have drivers bidding on assignment. So it's every quarter. The next one coming up is November. And what we have done, or everywhere I've been, we engage the public to let them know what service changes or upgrades that are coming. This year, we did a very good job. We had public meetings and we had media around and we had questions and concerns. We told the public what routes are coming and the frequency of how the route is going to show up. And we did it for area, we did for 2 days. Okay, 2 minutes on one day. So the public was also involved in what CAD want to do for the upcoming changes, which will be November. I believe the 6th. Jim, is that right? 20. Oh yeah. So we're trying to push that to November 20th. And like I said, Title 6 is a key because the public have to understand we cannot ignore anybody as public funded company. We have to have everybody included. So we did that and it went very well. Just to wrap it up, the paratransit, we also ordered 10 vehicles that are gasoline. The electric ones cannot go too far. On a full charge, it goes about 120. And therefore we need the gasoline to extend our service. So we have 10 vehicles coming out. We have 5 currently, and the next 5 going to be here by tomorrow. So that will put our fleet 20 brand new vehicles for paratransit. So I think our staff, we're doing a very good job. And with time, the public will see how we have worked hard to change the system. The workforce training, because of the CDA training, one manager cannot do it. Currently we have one training manager, and he's doing all the training. So we went ahead and hired a second person and to help us out. And this individual is not only CDA trainer, she's also a development coordinator. In other words, every training that we have, customer service, safety, this person's in charge. And I think we have the right candidate on board. She's showing all her skills, and that is also going to speed up the CDA process and training. I talk about the CAT Connect, and I talk about Title 6 and the upcoming changes to our 4 operator speak. And I think that will conclude my presentation, and I'll take any questions. Okay, seems like nobody have a question for me, so that's a good thing. All right. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you. The next presentation, we're gonna go back for just a minute and pick up the communication, marketing and communications presentation, and we'll do the infrastructure stuff.
If somebody's talking, we can't hear them.
Can you hear me now?
No, barely.
Dr. Robinson, can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Good morning, Chairman Cody, Board of Directors, Mr. Massimo, CAT staff, and the public at large. We're going to get started with our marketing communications report for the month of August. So the CAT tracker is seeing significant strides with app downloads or installed devices. Right now, Apple has more than 15,000 downloads, and Samsung has more than 3,000. I shared this in committees, but I thought it would be a good idea to moving forward with the CAT tracker to include the install base and the monthly active users of on Apple and Google of the CAT tracker. Install base means the number of active devices your app is installed on, and active device is one that has been turned on at least once in the previous 30 days. Monthly active users is the number of users who open your app in a 28-day period. So for Google, in the month of August, we had more than 1,700 monthly active users, and for Apple, we had more than 870 monthly active users. And just to give a fun fact, September 19th, last week, marked 1 year since CAT went public with the CAT tracker. So we are very excited to pass that 1 year mark. With the service alerts, CAT's text alert system has increased by 8% in August. Social media also increased in the month of August. Facebook, we increased by 25 followers, Twitter or X by 13, Instagram by 19, LinkedIn by 12, and YouTube by 4. This is also, the board also gets a deeper breakdown of social media, including our follower growth, impressions, and profile visits that are compared to the previous month. In the month of August, CAT's Marketing and Communications team held Title VI public meetings, announced board approval of the Master Transit Plan, kept the public informed during Tropical Storm Idalia, and beautified the CAT Central Shelter. I don't know if you guys were able to see it yet, but when you're heading out today, please make sure to look at the shelter outside of CAT Central. Yes.
We had already understood wants to lead expedite on shelters, understand? We also got Director Odell
Okay.
that made previous statements about the shelters. So we want them to kind of elaborate on moving forward with our shelters.
One thing that I think that we can do that will help, and most directors will review this for us, is we've got underway a comprehensive, shelter and style and amenities inventory, throughout the entire county, so all 1,100 or so plus. And I think having, their help and support in looking at that work product as it's underway would be very good. So thank you both for volunteering to lend your expertise.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Cody and Mr. Massimo. The CatCast episode 8 is now out. It featured Mr. Massimo, Miss Melanie Wilson of the MPC, and Miss Ann Purcell of GDOT. We also released a special edition of the CatCast featuring the executive director of the Savannah Jazz Festival. We were really excited to get that CatCast going because it's definitely starting the conversation of how CAT connects with the community and community events around Chatham County and City of Savannah. CAT was also mentioned 41 times in newscasts between all our local media outlets. We also participated in 2 emergency press conferences regarding Tropical Storm Idalia. And that is all for me. Do I have any questions? Yes, Director Adams. When the episode is released. So all of our CatCast episodes are released first Fridays of the month. And the Savannah Jazz Festival, the special edition, has already been released. You can look at it on YouTube, Spotify, and all of our social media platforms. Yes.
As well as all those social media platforms. And we've really got very positive feedback. We have a couple new ones we're going to share with you that are coming up. And actually Director Rocket is helping us. We want to do one that we try to find things, especially when we're doing interviews with different folks, like for example, the Savannah Jazz Festival. But we've got one coming up that'll be a member of the Ghost Pirates team and a member of the Savannah State football. And we'll be talking about the importance, whether you're on the CAT team or whether you're on those kinds of things, we'll be talking about that and then helping to promote. We've also got a one coming up that will promote the new Ocean Discovery Center on Calpay. It's a part of Braves Reef, and we have a cat bus stop right there, so that one is like the Savannah Jazz Festival will be out in. We're working with a local restaurant that was recently named in Bon Appetit's best in the country, and we're going to talk about we're both best in the country as an example. So we've got some of those kinds of ideas that are just fun and interesting things before we get to talk about CAT and what CAT has going on, but we get to pair it with something that might be a little different just to push the time.
And also, if I may just add one more thing, everyone will be receiving, the CAT board will be receiving an invite from me for our first community pop-up for our SMART grants. It's going to be October 20th at the Pennsylvania Resource Center. Yes, I think that's the name of it. My apologies if it's not, but you'll be seeing the calendar invite for that very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Quick question.
All right, Delay.
Yes, sir. Director Leggett?
I think the screen froze.
Check, check. Ariel. Hello? I don't know what they. Ariel,
Hi, yes, sir.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so the question is, so everything that you just gave us,
I'm sorry, Director Leggett, you went out again.
upgrades that we will have to the CAT app.
Director Leggett, you may want to type it in the chat because you're breaking up.
Director Leggett, we'll look for your comment in the chat and we'll be able to respond.
All right, Director Leggett, we'll come back to your question and we'll go
Okay.
ahead and, are you there now, sir?
Okay,
Well,
just I'm asking a quick question just to see if you could hear me, but I'll reach out to Ariel.
We can hear you now.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you. I was just trying to find out from Ariel, is the everything that she just reported to us, is that stuff that will be upgraded to the new CAT app, or is that just something new?
Hi, Director Leggett. I'm having a little problem understanding the question.
Yeah, I was just trying to find out from all of the presentation that you just gave, is that stuff that we will have in our CAT app, or is that online some online assessment?
Both.
So, some of it, Director Leggett,
that
would
was
be
just-
things that, some of it would be things that are on the website or that you could find on social media, any of our, that type of communication that we would have. And then some of it, and other platforms, we mentioned that we push some of this information out also through our partners at the county and the city of Savannah through the public access channels. And then in addition, information that is appropriate to be uploaded in CAT Tracker or any of those kinds of apps to be able to learn more about us and what we do and how to use us would be made available there, as well as, as appropriate for that particular tool.
Answered wonderfully. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And we'll, if we can bring the planning presentation. I'm going to go through the planning presentation pretty quickly once it comes up, because much of it is in things that you've already heard a bit earlier in the meeting today. There we go. So we mentioned already those August Title VI public meetings, coordination with operations, the Student Zero Fare Pilot Program, and we thank the board again for their support today in allowing us to bring that service to the community and help that in growing our service. The preliminary November service planning and roster meetings, again, close coordination between our analyst and scheduling, planning activities and operations. And then we have staff training that we have ongoing with the planning staff currently. And just as a reminder, our new chief of planning will be joining us in about 2 weeks. And she'll be delivering these reports moving forward. Then the November roster dates, we've already provided earlier in the meeting. Next slide. The roster comparisons are also presented here, and we're in the packet of materials that we reviewed at the planning committee meeting. There are alignment and bus stop connections that will minimize some of the Clever and GTFS issues. We've got additional bus on Route 25 to allow for 30-minute frequencies on weekdays, changing alignment to create two-way service, modified Route 17, end of the route to Walmart, restored Route 11 to run 610 to 629. We've updated relief points on Route 12 per the operator's request. And then we've got service additions to reduce spill runs as indicated there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, next slide. And then we still welcome comments. We know that even though our master transit plan, our COA TDP work, the actual work product is now complete. We're still always interested in the comments of the public about our service, ridership, and so forth, and a better understanding of the community that we serve. So this survey is still available. One of the things that I really want to commend the board on is this board has provided support for the last year and leadership for the past year that has enabled CAT to do something really quite extraordinary, which was to bring forward a master transit plan, a comprehensive operational analysis transit development plan, and the zero emissions bus plan that you currently have now in review for the next 30 days. Those three major pieces of work, along with the extraordinary job that our CFO, Ms. Cutter, does along with this board and along with our management staff to bring forward solid financial planning to enable us to achieve those things, is the path to CAT's future. And the foresight that this board has had to bring all those efforts forward in a very collaborative, integrated way is nothing but a positive for CAT. So thank you all so much. All right, sir. Back to you, Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Ms.
I'm sorry.
We have Ms. Carter.
Ms. Cutter, we have our CFO's report.
Good morning, Board of Directors, union representation, colleagues, and March. I'll be going over the financial services update in addition.
I'm sorry, Ms. Cutter, your volume is low. Can you talk a little bit louder for us, please?
Yes, I can.
Thank
Good
you.
morning again to the public at large, colleagues, union representation, and of course to our Board of Directors. I will be presenting a financial services overview today, along with an update on human resources activities. The first slide gives you the reconciled balance of our accounts, operating, payroll, grant account balance, and of course our investment account balance. It also gives you a comparison of the month-end balances for July and the month-end balances for August. As you can see, the operating account is down almost $2 million. And it also shows that our investment account is continuously growing. The FMO budget amendment, wherein we resubmitted grant funds to the FTA in the amount of $450,684. That was approved at our last board meeting. It was submitted by pay.gov. The FTA has responded and repurposed those funds to the grant account to be used for future electric bus and or electric bus infrastructure. Our year-to-date actual versus year-to-date budget comparison for the month of August, expenses exceeded revenues, and that's primarily because of the transit tax refund delay due to a state tax credit that was issued to property tax owners by the state of Georgia. However, the state of Georgia will be reimbursing Chatham County For that money, it's about $700,000. And once the county receives it, CAT, they will send it over to Chatham Area Transit Authority. Our revenue by source is broken down according to category. And as you see, paratransit was our main source of revenue for the month of August. 100% support of paratransit services by Chatham County. Our expenditures by category, this is pretty constant. For the month of August, it's typically salaries and wages and benefits that are the major categories. But for the month of August, you'll see that was second to salaries and wages, and that reflects the amount that was sent back to the FTA. And that's the only reason that number is for August. Our tax collections, as you see for the month, the total was $22,649 for August. It was actually received in September, but you know that's very unusual for Chatham Area Transit in terms of the transit tax. And as I said, it's due to the homeowners tax release, a grant that was implemented, but we will be getting that money back, and you'll see our revenue boosted once it's received. Anticipate receiving it hopefully the latter part of October. Just a graphical comparison, our transit tax, as you see, July compared to August, August is down. Here again, primarily because of the tax credit. Here again, we'll be receiving those dollars at a later date. And our interest comparison, July compared to August, a slight bump in terms of interest received for the month. Our next slide just tells you what that interest amount is. For the month of August, it was $36,891 for a month in balance of $8,146. $8,146,356. Our recruitment stats a little is cut off, but at the end of the month, we had actually 71 vacancies. Most of them are on the operations side in fixed route. As you can see, at month end, paratransit had 0 vacancies. Since then, we've lost a couple. I believe it's 2. A lot of the other vacancies, we are in the process of recruiting. I sent out an individual report, a more detailed report showing where the vacancies were by position classification.
Ms. Cutter, I think it would be helpful if that detailed report was a part of this report, because it was a really good report.
Yes, ma'am. And the action items for the month was on consent, replacement of desktop systems, 20 and 20 laptops. This equipment will be used to replace old laptops and desk systems that are no longer functional and to accommodate new hires. HR, great efforts moving towards the whole health of the employee. Our videos are now running in the break room. The lunch and learns are now in progress, 1 per month for September. Stressless meal planning occurred in October. We're going to be doing brain health, financial literacy, and financial management. What's planned for the month of December through the donation of our legal team from Bohanna Elegant, bringing a session on power attorney and wills, and this will be done twice annually. And any questions, any feedback?
Have you had a date set up on the real?
Is to be determined.
When
Do
he
we
said,
have a date?
we don't have a date yet, but we were coordinating on that today.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
We've done it once a few
Yes.
months ago, and it was successful.
It was successful. Employees were really, we got a lot of very positive feedback on the fact that people could come in and pretty quickly get a standard will, a standard power of attorney. So those life tools were available to anyone and everyone.
Director Adams?
Yes, ma'am. Getting back on the will situation, would that be individually, or would that be like a workshop?
No, it's individual. They actually come away with it with an individual will that they can use as a part of life management. Just really quickly, I'll tell a little bit of a story. When I think I hadn't been here maybe a few weeks, and we lost an operator to COVID. And some of those tools were not in place for that particular individual. And we watched and supported the family as they were sort of struggling to get some things in order and understand benefits and beneficiary designations and all those sorts of things. And so Ms. Cutter and I worked together very closely then to begin to bring those kinds of things into our benefits and into our wellness of employees. When you think about total wellness, it's not just the physical, it's the mental, it's all of it. So we think that this is an important part of that, and we believe it demonstrates the kind of care that CAT has for all of its employees, including our operators, our mechanics, our administrative staff, and everyone. And we're really proud of this particular part of our program.
If there are no additional questions, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. Great presentation. All right. Don't have any, moving into old new business. We have a 30-day review item, draft 2024 legislative agenda.
Yes, I think this is, was presented to you both in snapshot, but also is in your package, and talks about what our focus areas are going to be for the 2024 session. We're already working closely with both our state and federal advocates and working with the legislative delegation. We actually have been given, I think, a preliminary date of a presentation to the delegation in December. We don't have a time or anything yet. Last year, I know both in addition to our key management, Chairman Cody and Vice Chair Stone both attended that as well, and we have extended that date invitation to them also. And then on the other item is the 30-day review of the zero emission bus rollout program. And again, similar to what we did with the master transit plan and then with the COA TDP, it was presented in committee. You now have it for a 30-day review period of time, and then we'll come back to you with a request to adopt it at next month's meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Massimo.
Maybe a question, but if our news this morning, if there is a government shutdown, do we
So what we understand is in the bipartisan infrastructure law, and I learned this when we were in Washington last Thursday and Friday, that there's a provision in the bipartisan infrastructure law where FTA will continue to run. So we're not anticipating an impact at this time.
Thank you. Great question. All right. Do we have any more questions, comments? All right, at this time, we'd like to adjourn this meeting. Our next meeting of Board of Directors will be September 28th, 2023 at 3 o'clock. Special call meeting. Yeah. Thursday. 3 o'clock. Yes. All right, I'd like to adjourn this meeting at this time. I thank everybody for coming out today. Thank you.
You're okay with mine. I'll start one.